We're back. I think it's been 3 weeks again, but so last time we had the not very helpful conversation with Oz, and then Dave went wandering through the woods for an hour, then came back, and everyone was like, where the fuck were you? I thought we had a buddy system. And then we all played Uno in the conservatory.
I did forget about the Uno.
We still haven't read in the conservatory, but we did play Uno in the conservatory. And then Sal, we came down here to talk to Sal about his backstory, and he said that he killed his sister, and like what he meant is that because he froze, he didn't react when his sister was drowning. But they phrased it in the funniest way possible, so we both lost our shit.
Yes.
It's because one, the line "I killed my sister" in the context of this conversation was just so. It's not that we're like, to be clear, like we're not like laughing at Sal's misfortune, like haha he killed his sister. It's the fact that the line "I killed my sister" was presented in a way that reads as so grimdark that it reads as Sal's gritty reveal of how incredibly tragic and serious he is, like not in like in a way that's like internet OC kind of thing, which was significantly telegraphed and made worse by the fact that he had the line, "It's very hard to kill a crocodile." Which, so
yes.
When you have that line that seems to, for most bystanders, imply it is difficult to like physically kill a crocodile through violence, him then saying "I killed my sister" sounds incredibly grimdark. So obviously retroactively you're like, oh, he watched his sister drown and that's tragic and this is sad, but like the way that it was presented up to that moment was just the funniest way it could have been phrased. That is rough. But then we had to go. We were out of time, and so we're continuing this conversation now.
Yeah.
And it's pivoted to Dave's tragic backstory in that we were interrogating what happened with his dad.
One thing I want to say that's like the thing that the people don't know, the people watching don't realize. It's like when Keith and I say like, oh, it's been 3 weeks, like we haven't read in 3 weeks. That's not because we don't want to read. It's that doing this is hard, and we have no time. We're hitting up against the schedule block concern of like, oh no.
The logistics this always plays out, that like the fact that like our schedules have to sync up at some point in the middle of the week to do this, because that's just how all collaborative stuff goes in general, even for you, who is like being more available than Stephanie. But there's also the fact that now we both have our own channels, so we have other things that we're trying to also keep up with in the meantime. My ideal thing to do would be to binge any game, like just pick up a game, binge it for a few days or that week, and then be done with it, and then just backlog the videos.
Yeah.
But that only works if a game's 10 hours long.
Yes, and it also only works if both of us have the ability to sit down and binge, which has been increasingly more difficult lately.
We're very busy. But no, we binged all of Arches in like a few days. We just kept meeting up to do more, and we're like hunting to do more of it. But I don't think we're even very far in this game yet. I mean, we're not. Look at the day count, and I assume that the complexity of branches only increases over time. So it's like a graph of a limit. Like as you're approaching the end, the time spent per day only increases or something. So there's just, it's a bit like how I haven't played Tears of the Kingdom for like a month or two now, because I binged it so much early on that I was like, I have to catch up on everything else now. Like I can't keep playing Zelda every week. It's ruining my life. Anyway.
Completely. It's fun. I think we all have fun. The interesting thing about playing games with your friends, especially when you're trying to make content about it, is that you run into scheduling conflicts with your friends who you want to schedule with. And what I mean by that is like last week we had to stop because, or last time we played, I guess I should say, we had to stop because we had like Cape Escape.
Oh,
like,
right. It was 3 weeks ago today. So we had to stop for Cape Escape. So we literally had other scheduled stuff with each other that we had to stop to do.
It's not even that we're like, oh, like I can't make it, like I have life plans. It's like, oh, I'm sorry, Keith, I can't record Password with you because I have to record another game with you. It's just funny.
I have to go be Sandals.
All right, let's go with this. Your dad was a police officer. ACAB, Dave.
For the police.
Just takes him out.
Death roll. Yeah, that's more the tone of that. I was filled with pride whenever I remembered. Oh no. Whenever I could find the chance to remember, at least. The smile on my face quickly died, though. The unfortunate part of remembering those no longer with us was just that. They were gone.
If he had any advice, what do you think he'd say?
No. Let's not be that edgy. I had a joke, but it was too edgy, and I was like, I can't. I don't want to do this. I don't want to be this right now. I don't know. He was the one that had the advice. I didn't listen to any of it, despite being his son.
I see. I think I'd rather do police work rather than physical therapy.
A chill ran down my spine at the thought of Sal joining the police force. What if the same thing happened to him? What if...
A chill ran down my spine too, because don't become a cop, Sal.
Don't ruin Sal.
That's not a good idea. You can't do
Sal's
that.
also just provably quick to violence, so I don't really want him to be a police officer.
Yeah. Yes.
I gripped the fur on my head and started to pull, hoping the pain would force me to think of something else. Please don't.
Why? Healing people is fine. But if I'm being honest, I'd rather protect than heal.
I have bad news about the police.
So he's a utopian. He's like Daniil.
Yes.
No panacea, only vaccine.
I'd rather protect Daniil. There are several things that are good that protect people, and the police is not generally one of them. I blinked, confused. What do you mean? Either Dave is really based, and in a contradictory way, or he has never heard of the police.
To me, healing people is good, but makes me think I failed at keeping them safe. But if I could keep them safe before then...
Oh. So when you confronted Dean...
I wanted to protect Orlando. I might not be all that great at it, but I want to be.
It's still incredibly difficult to judge, to even parse what he was protecting Orlando from.
Protecting my brother, or a surrogate of one at least, is important to me.
But going straight into violence?
If you could stop something bad happening by being in the wrong, would you?
What did knocking Dean out accomplish? Are you going to explain this? Because we're still trying to parse what the intended meaning of that scene was.
Mm-hmm. If you had to, would you injure or even kill to protect those you hold dear?
Do not kill Dean for joking about spaghetti balls.
No, kill Roswell for being Roswell.
Yes, exactly. Undo the harm. I'm sure he causes everything else in this game, right?
In all honesty, I don't even know if I would anymore. I used to think so.
Sal.
But it was good to get this off my chest, at least. I have to thank you for that, even if I was a little rough with you.
Well, you didn't hurt me, so I guess it's fine. But it was scary. Right, he fucking, like, sarin choked us over the ledge.
Yes.
That was a lot. Sal's a lot. Sal has been a... that does add to how severe, like, how edgy the comment was, because he did already choke us off of our feet.
Mm-hmm.
Ooh.
I know. I'm sorry.
It's alright. I've been through worse, but,
have you?
What happens now? Yeah, have you? What has happened to you?
Pretty distressing.
For all that Roswell goes off about Tyson, what happened with Sal and Dave was pretty extreme, actually. Should I just give you some space now? I was considering just sitting in the hot tub until dinner, but I can leave if you'd rather, you know, jack off in the hot tub.
No, it's all right. I did that already. In fact, I might join you.
Zip.
You look ready to go, so let me just... This is funny. We're funny. This is very funny.
Sal got up and wandered over to the lockers, and I followed. How do you not read this as a proposition? He seemed to have his own locker, pulling out the key from his pocket and starting to pull out the things he'd stored in there. As I looked at the other lockers, I noticed that one of the lockers looked off. The lockers not in use were all open slightly, with the key in the lock for those to just use them if needed. But one was closed and still had the key in the lock. I thought back, calling over to Sal. Sal? This locker.
Which locker?
Pointing to the locker, I explained. Was that the other locker that was taken that day?
That locker. Oh, I remember. Yes.
But the key is back now.
I guess so. That's odd.
The locker that was taken that day. That is not... I don't remember this. Do you remember this?
Yeah, I do not.
When they say that day, they must be referring to another scene where they were previously at the pool.
I think so.
But I don't remember the details of this. I guess there just was. It probably was just a throwaway line about how one of the lockers is locked, which, like, given that there's like half a dozen people here, there's plenty of people that could have been using the locker for any reason.
Mm-hmm.
But sure, but you haven't noticed anyone using this one, right? You haven't messed with it?
No, this one is mine. I don't need to touch the others.
Why are you guys using lockers?
Yeah.
That's what I'm fixated on. I'm like, why? What? I'm just like, the last time I was in a pool with my friends, I just left my stuff with my bag in public, and it was a pretty public pool. But, like, I can see why somebody might want a locker for their things, because, yeah, like, you're getting in the pool, so you can't take certain valuables with you into the water. But it's just your group of friends, and you can see your surroundings. Like, no one's really going to sneak up to your bag to go through your stuff anyway in broad daylight, when at any moment you can just turn towards your stuff and see them doing it. Like, that's some cartoon logic stealth anyway. But who the fuck wants your stuff? Like, oh, it's my cell phone and my keys. It's probably not even, you probably don't even have your keys with you because you're on a vacation where you can't use your keys for your car or your house. So like, that's, if you brought your keys, they're probably just in your bag in your room, which isn't locked. So like, if anything, people have access to your stuff every day, all the time, because I don't think that their bedrooms lock necessarily when they're not in them. Like, they might have like a manual lock they can do when they're in the room, but I don't think they have keys to their rooms. So like, having pool lockers is just a bizarre level of security for only this one part of their trip that they're not attributing anywhere else, despite also just being with a group of friends that they supposedly don't expect to just steal their stuff in the middle of a trip where they are still with each other for the next 3 weeks and no one's leaving.
Yeah. I mean, it seems like either, so there's two possibilities here. Either this area is designed and was conceptualized in a way that accounts for the fact that this is actually a public space during most times of the year, I guess, right? Like, this is a place where people could go.
Right. Because we had the idea at the very beginning of the playthrough, mainly just because like that opening, partly because it's like some kind of like vacation thing that Roswell's family somehow set up, and partly because that opening, that the foyer has like signs and stuff that look like bathrooms. But as far as we can tell, this is just somebody's private mansion. Yeah. So I'm also not sure why the pool has lockers ever.
Yeah.
Who are they for?
Well, the other possibility is that it's for this guy known as Plots. It's for his convenience. Because we're probably about to find something in this locker. So, you know.
Yeah, my first reaction was like, oh, it's one of the coins is in the locker. Oh, but the weird, like, absence and presence of key has other implications. So it's probably something that someone's trying to hide, but I guess at that point the suggestion is that they just forgot the key. I don't know. With a nod, I reached out for the locker's handle, testing it. Finding it locked, I went to the key and unlocked it before opening it proper. It was empty, shy of a medal placed neatly right in the middle. So it is the medal. All right. I was immediately on the right page there.
Yep.
I stared at it, still holding onto the door. Carefully, I reached out for it and took it in hand, pulling out and closing the locker door. Why is this? Is it a new medal? Or is it like Orlando's medal? Like, I wonder if it's one of the ones we discovered or not.
Is that?
Yeah, looks like it.
How interesting.
Interesting how?
Well, I wonder whose locker this is then. Likely Benson's, all things considered.
Because why?
If this was locked before the scavenger hunt started and has a medal inside, it must be him that left the key in there so we could find it, right? Okay, something I want to figure out. Benson said it wouldn't be a scavenger hunt if we knew the locations to all the medals. But it was also set up that no one knows the locations of all the medals. But then it was set up that Oz knows the location of at least some of the medals, right? So are these medals hidden or are they lost? Because
we've also been told both
things.
That we should and shouldn't collect all the medals to get the prize.
Yes.
Because
this is very unclear
Oz has
to me.
told us that we shouldn't collect the prize, which is weird because surely he could just stop us. I assume that Benson didn't set up a scavenger hunt for a bunch of medals that are themselves literally the key to the door, akin to like fucking Mr. Man and the Teslas. Like, I assume you just get the things and then they're like, you got the things, here's the reward, right? Right? Like, they wouldn't literally be the key, right? No one is as dumb as Melvin, right? Yeah.
No. No, unfortunately, the world is full of Melvins, Keith.
No.
Either way, if you hadn't said anything, I wouldn't have thought to check.
Really?
I want to be a cop. I'm not very observant.
I'm not curious by nature. Perfect for the police force. Really? Not even a little bit curious?
I have my own locker. Besides, that's invading someone's privacy.
The police would never do that. I frowned, running my thumb over the engraving. I guess so, but what if someone else put it in there and Benton just had the key?
Is that likely? Which metal is it?
I looked at it again and tried to describe it, flashing it to Sal.
I don't know this one.
Is it worth checking with the others?
Maybe. It doesn't really matter unless we start making a checklist, I suppose, right? Have you not made a checklist of the metals that you're trying to find yet, Sal? What? What?
I'm not over the fact that Roswell hyped up the scavenger hunt for like 3 days before it started. They did exactly one activity and then no one ever mentioned it again. And we have now discovered 2 of the metals by accident, even though we're never talking about the scavenger hunt or where to potentially look for metals. It's funny because like if the characters were invested in the scavenger hunt, it would be an excellent excuse to get them to go to different locations and maybe even in different combinations of people and engage with like challenges or puzzles and other things that like could cause like scenes to happen. But instead we've not acknowledged the scavenger hunt for the majority of the playthrough since it was originally started. Like this should be an easy question. What metal does Orlando have? That's the only one in play that you don't have personally. So if it's not Orlando's, then it's either a secret metal that nobody announced that they got, or it's a new one. I guess so. We stood there in silence a bit before Sal wandered past me towards the hot tub. For the rest of the afternoon, Sal and I just lounged around in the hot tub. There wasn't really anything more to be said here, but it was relaxing enough. A few times I thought he'd fallen asleep, but no. He was just lounging there, looking thoughtful. Leaving enough time to get changed before dinner, I took the medal up with me and stashed it in my room. I could show it to the others later. By the time dinner rolled around, we all filed into the dining room and sat down. I felt happier. At least, at ease based on how the day had turned out. It started low, but it ended up going alright. So what's for dinner? Good question. Orlando? Roswell volunteered to cook. Making what? I don't know, but he seemed ready to try at least. He's not gonna burn this place down, is he? Oh, I hope not. Worry enough about that whenever Sal's in the kitchen. Harsh.
I'm not that bad, am I? You're pretty bad, buddy. I'm not the best, sure, but how hard is it really to set fire to the place? Pretty easy. Fire is pretty easy to accidentally set and destroy an entire house.
I was gonna say, like, is it a challenge? Are you challenging me?
Yeah. Surprisingly easy.
I looked at Dean, who seemed primed to say the same thing, but backed down after Haas spoke up.
You weren't so bad, though. You can do chicken.
That's right. You can do hot oil, so you're fine.
Is hot oil that dangerous? Are you an idiot, Sal? Oh boy.
But can he cook though? I think so. You can always go in and give him a hand tie. Nope. I'll take my turn cooking later.
What can you cook, Tyson?
Nothing fancy, but I get by.
But what though?
Stew.
I just used my speaking voice for that by accident. Oops.
Stew, toast, scrambled eggs. Guess I can grill meat.
That's a pretty limited range.
You want the full fucking list right here? Like, it's a lot to. What can you cook? Give me the entire exhaustive list, or I'm going to judge you for everything you didn't say. Well, at least you could make burgers. They're good burgers, at least. He's smiling.
Hey, I like a good burger. Reckon we can put you on dinner tomorrow?
Seriously? Yeah. If you need help, I'm sure that someone will be willing to lend a hand.
I'm just waiting for Roswell to show up and be like, but Dave, what if he poisons all of our food? Remember what he did in high school?
You can't have forgotten what he did to us. It's a conservatory, Dave.
It's for reading. You can read in it, Dave.
Don't forget what reading did to us.
Put me down to help.
Really?
Of course. Shouldn't be too hard, right?
There's what? Orlando started to count on his fingers. 9, right? 9? Why 9? Well, the 7 of us, plus Benson, plus, well, the owner of the house, right? Oh, right. Did I not say? Say what? Oh, I ran into Benson this morning, and apparently he's gone on vacation. Just like that? Apparently, yeah. Well, that would have been nice to know. Why didn't you say earlier? I was too busy being pensive in the forest. I guess I got distracted, but good thing we know now, right?
Well, can't complain about him getting some time off. Life of a butler must be a full-time gig after all, right?
The hell of a thing though to get an all expenses paid vacation, and then all the staff just starts leaving. They're like, I'm out. I don't really feel like it. In their perspective, this is very strange that Benson just left 1 week into the month-long trip. That's true. Okay, 8 people. That's easy. Given how much Dean can put away, and how big Sal is, probably gonna be making enough for more like 10.
Probably.
Is that bad though? Doesn't bother me. We continued chatting around the table until Roswell brought out food. Some sort of mushroom dish with rice. Apparently this was from the stuff he'd gathered when he was out in the woods.
Yeah, I guess so.
How many days ago was that?
That was day 6, I think, right? So 3 days ago?
Maybe, yeah.
I think. That seems right to me. It's gonna be something like that.
He was not quick to use these ingredients. Having eaten our fill, Dean leaned back in his chair, sighing out and looking to Roswell. Oh, what was in that anyway?
Just some of the mushrooms I picked in the woods.
Nothing dangerous, I hope. Given how much I ate, I might be in trouble.
They were fine, I promise you. Only Tyson is morally capable of poisoning people. Just some patty straws.
Nothing fancy, I promise. The rest were from the kitchen. From the grocery store, I'm assuming.
What about the rice, though? Garlic and butter, right? Otherwise, it's just steamed rice, I think.
Yep.
So it was like a mushroom curry?
I thought he was like describing. At first, I thought they were describing like risotto, but I guess not.
Yeah, I don't. Huh.
More like a stew, I think. I sort of panicked and threw everything into a pot and tried to figure out what to make. There's still a little bit left, but probably not enough for another meal.
Hang on a minute. Fucking. What? This is strange to me. It's strange to me that he's like, they're discussing whether it was a curry or a stew when they already ate it.
It would be self-evident.
Yeah. It's not. It's not like him like in the kitchen talking about his plans in progress and stuff. We ate it. A stew is very different from a curry. It's just tripping me up. I don't know. It tasted fine to me. I saw Roswell try to say something before forcing himself back, scratching his head instead.
Picky. I'd eat that again.
Same here. In any case, thanks for dinner, Roswell.
Thanks, Dave.
Blushy
Wait,
Roswell.
I guess this is something that I just missed. This is a time thing. Did like an hour just pass while they were eating in between conversations? Is that what just occurred? Or are they? I thought they were talking about dinner like yesterday.
Yeah, no, Roswell was off cooking
Okay.
in the previous conversation, and now they seemingly have already eaten.
Have already eaten
Because
and just time has passed in the same scene again. Got
yeah,
it.
because Dean was
Okay.
talking about how much he ate from this thing that they're eating.
Okay.
Well, I'm going to clean up dinner. I made the mess, so may as well clean it.
See, I got confused. I thought they were arguing about who was going to make dinner, and then they started talking about how Roswell made it earlier. I literally thought they meant like he did it yesterday, so it's someone else's turn now.
No,
Like,
they're
got
talking
very
about how
confused.
Roswell's currently making dinner, and they're talking about who could do it in the future
Yeah.
and so on.
Yeah. Okay, got it.
Can I help? It doesn't seem fair for you to do all the work. Oh, well, if you want to, I'm not gonna say no. Don't be pressured to, honest. It'll get done faster that way. I'll meet you in the kitchen. Well, that makes things easy.
There was some showing of people stacking their plates to make the trip into the kitchen easier before people started to peel away. With dinner behind me, I yawned. I didn't feel like I did much today, but I was for sure ready for bed. I trudged out of the dining room towards the stairs, reaching the bottom before I heard the footsteps behind me. Oh, hey Sal, how are you here? You're the only character we've specifically accounted for being busy right now. He was fidgeting on the spot, playing with his hands and keeping his gaze averted. Is everything all right?
Yes.
That's good?
Right.
I gave him a look, like they're trying to figure out what was up. The only thing I noticed was whenever I tried to catch his eye, he shifted it somewhere else. Well, I was gonna go to bed, maybe just lounge around, using that word a lot today, and watch things on my phone.
Oh. All right. I understand.
Sal, what do you want? Just say it.
Sorry to bother you.
What?
He clearly wants to spend some alone time with Dave in the hot tub.
I'm just like, Dave, just made it as clear as possible that he's not busy. He's literally just like, with lack of anything to do and it being late, he's like, I guess I'm gonna go to my room? Sorry to bot. What? Sal, just say whatever you want to say. Just do it. There's nothing stopping you. It's not weird. The only thing weird is that you just said you were going to help Roswell in the kitchen and then didn't, apparently.
Well, presumably, maybe time has passed again and the kitchen is already cleaned.
I don't know. The continuity is very hard to parse in some of these scenes because it sounded like Sal made a whole point of saying he was going to help Roswell clean up. And then it said that everybody made a show of stacking their stuff before peeling off, which means that nobody was helping clean up necessarily. They just like gathered their dishes together to help out on that level. But now now Roswell and Sal should be washing the dishes and pans and cleaning up the kitchen. But instead, as Dave leaves, Sal's already following him out. And I'm like, that's not the scene you just described, which just kind of happens a lot. It makes the flow of time very confusing. And it might be that this is a route moment where the character you're in a route with shows up right now. But in this specific case, Sal breaks that scene by doing so because he was just very specifically accounted for and there's no conveyance of there being a passage of time. Dave is very specifically just having walked out the room that scene took place in.
Yeah.
Sal scurried back towards the dining room, leaving me behind. Something seemed off, although I had very little to actually go off of. Because I'm extremely socially oblivious and couldn't tell that Sal, like, wanted something to happen there.
Yeah.
Like, for as much as Sal's being weird, Dave not being like, what is it? Or something is also weird. Like, he could not have telegraphed more how badly he wanted some kind of something to happen, but you don't know what. As I got changed into a pair of sleeping shorts, I checked my phone. Charged, undoing my mistake from the night before. Rolling onto my back, I start to flick through my apps. Old photos and messages. Talking with Sal was bringing things back up, leaving a bitter taste in the back of my throat. You know. I hovered over my voicemail again, contemplating listening to the message again before deflating. With a sigh, I dropped my phone next to me and shut off the lights before returning to bed and looking to get some sleep. In which you have very vivid dreams of Sal leaving a bitter taste in the back of your throat. I was restless, tossing and turning for what seemed like hours before I found myself awake again. Huh? I strained my ears to listen. I'd heard something, but I wasn't sure what. As I went to look behind me, I heard shuffling, the faintest creak coming from my bedroom door as it closed shut again. Who's there?
I wanted something earlier.
I peered over my shoulder and saw Sal standing awkwardly by the door. Not that it made me any less on edge, but he seemed to be fidgeting much like he was when I met him at the stairs. Sal?
Hello, yes, sorry, I could go, if that's better.
How did he get in here before we did when we just said goodbye to him?
What? No, we went to sleep.
Gotcha.
We literally are waking up from being asleep.
Yeah, I just, it seemed like the way that they said it, it made it seem like he was like waiting for us in here. I guess we went to sleep. Yeah, that makes sense. But it's just funny to be like, all right, Sal, goodbye. Anyway, I went into my room and now I'm asleep. And oh, hey, Sal, how'd you get here? It's like, did he just follow us right behind us when we walked in and we're just too oblivious to notice? Took a nap with him in the room?
I figure it's been hours, probably.
Yeah, it probably has been. It's just funny.
What time is it? What's wrong? He mumbled, shuffling on the spot. Sal, if you're going to come into my room, at least come over so I don't have to call out to you. And so he did, shuffling closer. So, what was it you said?
I'm scared.
It wasn't the answer I was expecting, but it made me blink. I wondered what it was specifically he was scared about, but he continued.
If I sleepwalk and something goes wrong.
Is that likely? Can you sleep on me again?
Well, no, but can I sleep with you? Sorry, I understand. Forget about it.
He took a few steps away before turning fully, shoulders slumped. Sal? Looking back at me, he looked tired, or stressed out about something. Will sleeping with me help?
I don't know. I just thought I'd ask, that's all.
Well,
I'm imagining he's doing the pleading face and pointing his fingers at each other and tapping them. Ooh, woo.
I just want to sleep with you.
for plot reasons.
I don't know. Maybe it would be fun, unless...
Well, I can't just leave you in the lurch, I guess.
It was silly of me to invite myself.
Maybe, but I'd much rather you have told me than something bad happening and me finding out in the morning, so yeah, I guess it's fine. Sal climbed under the bed and sat there for a bit, seemingly mulling things over. Was it just trouble sleeping? He rubbed the back of his head, sighing out.
There are other things, but it's not really important.
But it was important enough to come into my room in the middle of the night.
Oh, right, well. True. Alright. I didn't share too much today, did I? I feel like openly sharing what I did or rather.
He trailed off, glancing at me to see if I was going to fill in the blank for him, so I nodded, letting him continue.
Anyway, I feel like doing that may have affected me more than I thought it would. It's times like this that I feel like it'd be nice to cry. But alas.
You can't cry?
No, physically, I can't cry. Seems like it'd be nice.
Well, if it makes you feel better, I don't cry anymore.
That doesn't make me feel better, Dave. That makes me concerned.
What does that mean? What a strange sentence to
I'm
hit
dead on
someone
the inside.
Do hyenas grow out of the ability?
Oh, no, it's less that and more... I guess I'm all cried out?
Doesn't really hold up to scrutiny.
No.
Okay. That's justification for being mentally unwell, but we'll take it, Dave. We already knew that much.
Famously, you can have too much trauma and then just never cry again. You cap out and then you prestige.
But what if something bad happened? Would you cry then?
I hope
Let's test it.
And then he takes out a gun.
I hope so, but maybe only so I'd feel normal. I get sad still, but it takes a lot to make me that upset.
Like if Orlando died or Roswell.
This is testable. Those are very specific guesses.
Really?
I just assumed...
That I'd say Tyson? No, I feel like that's more complicated. But Orlando and Roswell are your best friends, right?
Wait. Have we already been over this? Dave and Orlando being best friends? I think this came up last time, right?
Yeah, I think Dave, Orlando, and Roswell are like the oldest friends in the group or something.
Yeah, okay. It's just surprising every time it comes up because I can never remember. I can never remember who is supposed to actually be close because the way that Dave interacts with Orlando does not make them seem particularly close.
Well, you see,
Don't worry, I won't tell them. But honestly, I think it's fine for you to have more than one.
I won't tell them that you're poly friend. What? We can't let Roswell know that you're cheating on him with Orlando at friendship.
But still, I think I've just made myself sad and wondered if it'd help if I had someone nearby that'd understand. Orlando means well, but he's a bit naive, too warm and happy to really understand.
Well, thanks, I guess.
No, I don't mean it like that. Just, there's comfort in knowing someone can actually understand.
What was the negative implication?
I don't know. That he wouldn't cry when they died?
He just said he wanted somebody that would understand how you feel. I don't. Huh. I lost the thread of what the implication of that line was, and like what Dave would potentially be offended by, and what Sal's apologizing for in that moment. Sal continued to sit there, once again keeping his gaze averted. I wondered if he wanted me to make the first move here, or just outright invite him into bed. Have you not said yet? Yes, yet? Sal, did you?
Wanna cuddle?
Yes.
I think the correct answer is want to talk more, but
Cuddle.
perhaps.
You don't mind, do you?
Not really. I like getting cuddles in. I'm all about the cuddling. Somehow you said it weird. So I don't know how you made it weird, but
So long as you know that, for me, you're not just someone to get cuddles from.
would that be so bad?
Well, no, but talking is probably better here.
We could do both. You usually do.
Is that okay? I do like cuddles as well. It helps regulate my body heat.
I shifted across to make room next to me on the bed, and Sal crawled over, slipping under the covers and sitting beside me for a few moments.
Thank you.
No sooner than he was under the covers did he yawn, rubbing his eyes much like I did when he woke me up. Are you gonna be okay, Sal?
Eventually. Likely come morning.
Is there anything I can do? I think you're currently doing it, Dave. That was the point.
No. This is enough. Besides, it's only for tonight. Tomorrow might be different. We'll see.
Well, just let me know, alright? Maybe next time if you want some cuddle company, let me know before I fall asleep.
Alright, sorry. I understand.
Sal slipped further down the covers and held the blankets just under his chin. The beds were big, but Sal's size was already taking up most of the length. Comfy? He rumbled an affirmation, shooting me a look, lifting up the blanket. What are you doing?
Sorry, my brain immediately went like inspecting. Would you
You want to be my jetpack? Rub your front?
No.
Then
Remember the other night?
you want me to sleep on you? Is that even comfortable? Well, I called this immediately.
It's comfortable for me if it was comfortable for you.
It was for sure a new experience. Sal was a lot bigger than anyone else I knew. Being able to just use him as a mattress was a new experience. Not a bad one, just different. As I slid down under the covers, I edged closer, nestling my head against his neck and throwing a leg over his waist. As if that wasn't enough, Sal snaked a hand under me, adjusting me so I was more on top. He yawned again and patted my head carefully, prompting me to yawn in kind. Maybe it was just the fatigue catching up to me, but he was comfy. Before I knew it, he was asleep, his whole body rising and falling in time with his breaths. Why was Sal so hard to figure out? Sometimes it was like looking at a much bigger, scaly version of myself. Other times it was like he was someone who was as if he was someone with so much more worldly experience. When has Sal ever seemed like that? The whole dynamic is Sal is older than everybody in the group, but seems to not know anything ever. Maybe it was because it seemed he was two people in one that made me confused. He ate the other person. I nestled into his neck, listening to the faint thrumming coming from him as he slept. It wasn't long until I too felt myself drift off fast asleep, my mind still racing, trying to figure out the enigma I was sleeping on top of. Double digits. Here we go. Who died this morning? Call it.